Ladies and gentlemen, Darhkseid here, and I'm back with another video. And today we are yet again talking about Undisputed ratings. And today's boxer of choice is going to be none other than Showtime Shawn Porter. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so first off, I think I should put some disclaimers out there just for those who don't know. All the ratings currently in Undisputed are technically under that WIP tag, which is work in progress. So none of these are finalized. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, you know, when it comes to how some of these ratings are done, because they're not finalized, so they could have a plan to change these without me knowing, whatever, blah blah. You get the idea. And also, disclaimer, these ratings that I'm going to suggest for Shawn Porter and for other boxers and other videos to come, of course, are my own personal opinion and my own personal way of determining the stats. I'm no professional. I don't have a CompuBox statistics algorithm and all this other stuff. I'm just doing these my own way, basically, out of, you know, just a couple things that I think personally, and also in combination with some of the history of fights and things like that, and generate some more realistic attributes for some of these boxers. So hopefully you agree with some of the stuff I have to say and some of the stats that I kind of, you know, attribute to some of these boxers. And if you guys disagree, also leave that in the comment section below as well, so I can kind of see what you guys are thinking and see, you know, see how things are going as far as generating ratings for some of these boxers. With that said, let's hop into the ratings for Showtime Shawn Porter. So he has right hand bomb, inside fighter, and bounce back. All three of those I think are pretty valid. You can make a case, you can really make an argument for tireless, the trait tireless, but you can also make a case against it if you don't think Shawn Porter is necessarily a combination heavy boxer, which is the reason they probably didn't give him tireless, since it's mostly focusing on being able to maintain stamina through combinations. But I also think there's a strong conversation you can, you know, really argue that he should have tireless as well as bounce back. He's a cardio machine with his pressure. So there's an argument for that, but I think for the most part the traits are correct. Bounce back is really good for Shawn Porter in general. You know, things like that. Anything that affects the cardio in a good way will be good for Shawn Porter. But let's talk about the stats, because I got some issues. I have some issues with how they did my man Showtime Shawn Porter. I didn't mention it yet, but one of my favorite boxers. So this was one of my biggest gripes when the game first launched, because I was someone who was extremely excited to play Shawn Porter. He was one of the boxers I was looking forward to playing the most. And we aren't even going to be talking about the fact that shorter boxers with shorter reach are extremely hard to use currently in the game. So I'm going to leave that to the side. I'm strictly focusing on the attributes themselves as it relates to the boxer. The play style and how the game overall deals with pressure boxers, that's a whole nother story. Into that another day. But for now, I'm focusing straight on statistics, straight on attributes. And they did my man Shawn Porter dirty. This is actually a better version of what he used to be, because he was actually worse than this in game. He had way lower stamina stats, which is just a disservice to Shawn in general, I think, personally. His stats are very subpar and very real basic and generic for somebody of his caliber, in my opinion. I mean, he's an 84 overall technically, but he has some low stats in a lot of places you wouldn't think he has low stats in. But I digress. Let's go ahead and start off with what I think needs to be changed as far as his stats go. So vitality, his is 83 overall in the game currently, as you guys can see. I'll just be reading off. I'll probably have it on the screen somewhere in the final video, but I'll just be reading off what I think needs to be changed for specific categories. So me personally, I have him rated at a 90 for the vitality. I think his health was pretty, I mean, he was pretty durable for the amount of pressure he put on people and the punches he took. He was a very durable fighter. I don't think he needs, these health stats are extremely low. These are close to Amir Khan levels of health stats, you know what I'm saying? So it's very, very low in my opinion. He needs to be way better in that category. Me personally, I have him at 92 health, 89 on regen, 90 on health recovery, 92 on head health, and 89 on body health. I think that's pretty fair. I mean, pretty much 90s across the board. That he was, like I said, he was a durable fighter. But he should feel like he's durable. 82s and bottom 8. Come on, stop it. Cap. All right, moving on to stamina. So this was the biggest letdown in the beginning. They kind of made it a little bit better now that he has some 90s across the board in stamina, but before it was even worse. But me personally, I think it needs to be even higher. 88 stam overall isn't good enough for him. I have him at 94 overall for the stam department. I have him 95 on stamina, 93 on stam regeneration, 94 on stam recovery, 95 on conditioning, and 94 on endurance. Why do I have him rated so highly at stam? Because he was a machine. I mean, his pressure, the amount of pressure that he put on people for all 12 rounds, he should be gassing out, but he never stopped pressure. He can apply the pressure for 12 rounds, so he needs to feel like he has that insane level of cardio. And with these 82 endurance, really? 82 endurance, come on. I'm just saying he needs to feel like a cardio machine. Like he's going to be on you all fight, and he's not going to stop coming forward. So those stats I suggested, I think, make up for that in my personal opinion. Now, the speed category is an interesting one, because I feel like 82 punch speed is extremely low for Shawn Porter. Like, 80, I can see the accuracy because of the way that he comes forward and the way he wins his shots when he's coming in on people. That's fine. I don't have too big of a gripe with that, but punch speed is extremely low in my opinion. And also his agility is pretty low. I know agility is more plays more into like the countering in this game, but he was an agile boxer, obviously, to be able to get on the inside and maneuver and do the stuff that he does. So I think he definitely needs a little bit of bump in that as well. So for me, I gave him 88 agility, 87 movement speed is what I had for him as well. I gave him 87 punch speed, and I gave him 83 accuracy. I think that makes him not, so his accuracy I only bumped up 3. Doesn't make him super accurate, but it makes him more accurate than what's portrayed here. But it doesn't make him like extremely accurate, because he was an extremely accurate boxer. But he was able to land his shots a good amount when he's on the inside. So I think the 83 is a good range for that. Now the agility, why I gave him such higher agility, I gave him basically a +5 from what he has in game. It's just basically for the fact that he was able to be very agile, getting on the inside and do work against a lot of his opponents. I feel like 83 makes him seem like he's not really athletic that much, so that's why I bumped up the agility to 88. I think that's way more serviceable in my opinion. And then of course punch speed, I had to pick that. Like 82 is just dead slow for somebody like Shawn Porter. Like, come on, stop it. So that's why I had to raise that as well. On to the strength category. So for the strength category, I thought this was the category that wasn't too bad. It was pretty close to what I would have it. But me personally, I gave him 84 left hand power, 85 right hand power, 82 jab, 87 on his hooks, 86 on his uppercuts, 83 on his straights, 84 power punch, and an 83 counter punching is what I gave him. Now the stats that stick out here for me, definitely I wanted his hooks and his uppercuts to be his best punches here, no doubt about it. As his hook should be his best punch, and then his uppercut should be underneath that. To me personally, I thought that would be the best way for that to really show the type of boxer he was when he was able to land his punches on the inside. And also for the power, I kind of bounced around with the power aspect, because I know Shawn doesn't have great power. He really doesn't have really that good of power, to be honest, for the amount of pressure he puts on people. But he has enough power where people don't want to be hurt. They don't want to get hit by him on the inside, right? Like, you can't say he doesn't have like 81 and 84 type of power. I feel like people are okay with getting hit. They'll just eat that and keep moving type thing. People didn't want to get hit by Shawn Porter like that. I'm not going to bring up the fact that he mauled Paulie Malignaggi, because we know those are like the one-off instances where he just completely destroys somebody like that. But I feel like 80, 84, 85-ish is decent enough where people don't want to get hit by you a lot on the inside. They don't want to get hit a lot. But I think is what you need for a boxer like Shawn Porter. So that's why I gave him such. I think that's fair. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I rated him there. Moving on to the defense section, I gave him 83 guarding, which is exactly what they have him in-game as well. I gave him 86 swelling resistance, 86 cut resistance. And then this was odd too. So those first 3 are all pretty similar to what they have as well. But the chin resistance at 84 is just criminal. 84 chin is just disgusting, honestly. Shawn had one for the amount of like danger he would put himself in to hurt, like get in on his opponent. The shots that he took, like he has a very good chin, like a really good chin. I gave him 94 chin resistance. I think he deserves to have a really good chin in the game. 84 is just too low in my opinion. That's just like middle of the pack, you know, okay-ish chin. Like he didn't have a okay chin. He had a good chin in my opinion, a really good chin. And I gave him 88 on his body resistance. I felt like he doesn't have like a vulnerable body, you know what I mean? Now was he able to just like absorb every punch? Probably not. That's why I gave him 88. I didn't want to go too high into the 90s like his chin is. I feel like his chin is way above, like it should be like the standard. Like he has a really good chin. So you want that like the high, like not the high 90s, but like the mid to like lower tier 90s, and then 88 body resistance right under that. Just so you, like I feel like 85 and below kind of feels like you're kind of somewhat vulnerable in a way, and I don't think he was a vulnerable boxer in that aspect, which is why I upped his body resistance as well. Moving on to the last category, which is also a big like L to me, which is his heart. So specifically, not even really the block health and block regeneration. The courage is the one I had the biggest issue with. So courage for Shawn Porter 88, I just feel like it's too low, honestly. I gave him 96 courage. I just feel like he was a dog in there. He wasn't going to stop. He wasn't going to back down. He's not going to quit. He's always coming forward. He's going to try to do his work regardless. So you have to make that like a big point for Shawn Porter. So I gave him 96 courage when it came to that. And I also gave him higher block health and block regeneration. Now this is arguable. The block regeneration and block health I gave him is 87 and 88. You could argue they could be lower. I could see a little bit lower, maybe 80, 84 and 85 here, because he doesn't have really like that great of a block in my opinion, because he wasn't really a defensive minded boxer for the most part. He's mostly offensive pressure. So you can make an argument that that's a little too high, which I could see, but I also make the argument 81 is too low. That's too low in my opinion. That makes it seem like he just had a block that would just get bled through, like he just couldn't block basically, and that's not the case in my opinion, so which is why I would not leave it there. So all in all, he's rated in the game as an 84 overall. With my attributes that I have come up with for him, he is rated at an 88, I believe. He's either an 87 or 88. I'm pretty sure he's an 88 as it stands though, which I believe is a way more accurate range for Shawn Porter personally. I would have slated him between probably like the 86, 88 range. Right between that little gap, I think is a good spot for him. 86 bare minimum, but 84 is just too low in my opinion. It just makes him seem like just an average boxer. Like I don't really like that too much. 84 too low in my opinion for what he was, especially the competition that he fought against. Like 84 is criminal in my personal opinion. I think 88, 87 is a good range. I can see if someone wants to argue 86, sure, but I think 87, 88 is more accurate to what he should be. And that's where I would personally put him, in my personal opinion. But I don't want to make it too long-winded. I want to be able to make multiples of these, you know, get these out to you guys. I think it's fun. I mean, I'm a stat nerd when it comes, especially when it comes to boxing games. I love boxing games. I love boxers being accurate to themselves, fighting how they should. I love it. There's really nothing that gives me more joy than playing a boxing game that really focuses on what boxers were, which is why I hated Fight Night Champion so much for multiple reasons. But the stats, some of the stats in that game just killed. Like Lennox Lewis being an 85 overall. He's one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. It's just insane. But I digress. Let me not even get into that. This is what I give Shawn Porter. Let me know if you guys agree in the comment section down below. Also, if you guys have any suggestions for any boxers you'd like to see stats for in Undisputed, let me know as well. I am generating stats for boxers who are in the game as well as not in the game. And there's some interesting ones I've done so far, so I might do videos on those as well. I think my main focus is going to be on people who are in the game first over the other ones that I've made. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you guys enjoy it, make sure to leave a like on the video. Also, subscribe if you guys are new. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Hopefully Shawn will see this and give him a smile and do him some justice, because they did him dirty in the game currently, man. But catch y'all in the next one, man. Take it easy.